It is Friday, June 20th, 2025. Welcome to another edition of Baseball Today. I am your host, Trevor Plouffe, and on my left or my right, I don't know, depending on which way you're looking at the screen, is Trevor May. I promised a big show. We took yesterday off, and this is about as big of a guest as you can have on this program. Producer Dan, intern Sawyer, along for the ride as well. T-May, thank you for joining us, man. This is going to be one of our biggest episodes, and I'm glad you're along here for the ride.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me on. I just can't help but notice you're using the word big a lot after we just got done talking about how fat I am. So
Yeah, we were
maybe that's a
talking
little
about
Freudian
that.
slip there a little bit. You just said big four
Well,
times. I'm choosing to take it as the positive thing. Big as in exciting.
I put out a video yesterday because we didn't record. There was scheduling conflicts, all these things. So I said, "Hey, I promise, guys, tomorrow's gonna be a big episode." I didn't even know
Nice.
you were coming on to co-host until after I put that video out.
Oh,
So it is
really?
a coincidence,
Okay. All right.
but maybe there was a double entendre there a
Yeah.
little bit.
Maybe just knew intuitively. I don't know.
Maybe I just knew. Me and you working together, a pitcher and a hitter. My goodness. Like we always do, teammate. We're gonna start out with the tip of the cap. And this is one I forgot. We got two today. The first one I forgot to do this. Javi Baez, he had 10 years of service time happen for him this week. And on that date, that very important date, what does he do? He doesn't hit one homer. He goes and hits 2 home runs. Now, I don't believe you or I got 10 years of service time. Did you?
I didn't. I pulled the shoot before.
Yeah, me as well. I think you ended up with more service time than I did, but 10 years, as most people know, yes, it is, when you maximize your pension, but really it's just a really, really cool milestone to get to that, man, as you know, not a lot of guys get to do it. So when you get to that point, you hit 2 homers on the day to help out the best team in baseball. Yeah, you get a tip of the cap.
Good for Javi, man. It's good to see him turn around a little bit this year and play Javi ball and fit into that lineup a little bit and be part of a really good team. He was one of my, even though we were only teammates for 2 months, he's a dog, man. He's a gamer. So it's good to
Love
see
that.
him make a little bit of a comeback.
I love to hear that about Javi because he is obviously a massive part of what they're doing there in Detroit this year. So shout out. Second tip of the cap. This one's more of like good vibes sending to our guy Hunter Biggie there, who got hit with a line drive against or for Tampa when he was sitting in the dugout. Had to be removed from the field. Went to the hospital. Gave some thumbs up as he exited. We're not going to show the video. We don't want to do that right now, but we wanted to send our good vibes because look. You never want to get anybody injured, but especially on a foul ball. That's some of the scariest things. I'm actually surprised it doesn't happen more often. But yeah, just sending our good vibes his way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, this is what everyone's been waiting for, dude. Like, enough of the pleasantries, the hellos, the tip of the caps. Let's talk Dodgers, Padres. What a freaking series. These teams have met 7 times in the last 10 games. The Dodgers end up taking 5 of 7 games from them. But this one was littered with hit by pitches and drama. And if you weren't calling it a rivalry before now, and I even was like, is it really a rivalry? I think it's become 100% a rivalry after this series. I want to bring us, before we start talking, I want to hear some sound from Mike Schilt and Dave Roberts after this game talking about these hit by pitches.
Enough is enough. We got a guy that's getting x-rays right now. It's one of the best players in the game, of course, on our team. And this guy's has taken shots. Teams that I manage don't get into altercations like this because teams I manage don't throw at people.
I took that personal because I understand the game and know that I understand it doesn't feel good to get hit, but understand, again, intent versus clearly no intent.
Dave Roberts with the Michael Jordan right there, and I took that personally. 8 total hit by pitches in this series. I went over them. Okay, I'm going to give you my rundown, and if I think they were intentional or not. The Page's hit by pitch by Cease, I don't think was intentional, but that kind of started this whole thing because he wasn't very happy about it. Tatis gets hit by Trevino. I didn't like it, but I didn't think it was intentional. Ohtani gets hit by Vasquez. I thought that was intentional. Iglesias gets hit by Sowers. I don't think that was intentional. Pages again, no intent. Johnson by Trevino, no intent. Tatis by Little, I didn't like that one either, but I don't think there was intent there. And then Ohtani by Suarez, I do think there was intent. I'm not a Dodgers glazer. What say you about that? The only reason I say intent behind Ohtani's hit by pitches were they were directly after the next time he came up after they hit Tatis. What did you think about this whole mess?
I'll be honest, of the 8, those are the 2 that stood out to me, especially the first one of Ohtani. The guy throws just cutters. There's like no way he could have hit him like he did without trying. It's almost impossible to yank the ball like that. But I think that we got a little bit of a maybe let's throw this back to like the Urania and like Acuna situation. He just throwing Acuna in was the plan, and he constantly was hitting him because he didn't have a very good command. And then towards the end of that, all those back and forths for those 2 years, yeah, I think he was actually just okay if he was hitting him because he was annoyed with how he reacted every time. I think that's what happened with like Pajes. They were just like trying to get him up and in. Same thing with the Trevino hit. Again, just trying to throw up and in. Like that's a spot they're trying to get to and just missing their spots. So, but at the end of the day, Ohtani gets hit twice on purpose, and I love how he handles. He's like, I get it, whatever, guys, I'm fine. Leave me alone. Of course, of course it's me, and you don't have to react that way. You can get mad if you want, but yeah, this is it. This is the premier matchup now. This is the one I'm paying attention to.
All right, we're gonna keep going on this. This Ohtani, we're showing for our YouTube watchers. We're showing Ohtani go up to the Padres dugout after that hit by pitch last night. I don't know what he was saying. Like, hey guys, can we stop doing this? Because I keep getting hit on purpose and I don't like it. I will say this, even though I don't think the hit by pitches to Tatis were actually intentional, I agree with Shohei when he says enough is enough. And so it's difficult to talk about these hit by pitches because I've taken the stance for forever. Pitchers throwing at hitters is lame, in my opinion, especially if it's, hey, this guy owns me and now I just got to go shuffle his feet. I got to make him feel uncomfortable in the box. So I hit him. I think that is the lamest thing you can do. I think that should be out of baseball. I got in trouble when talking about, who was it? Talking about I'd be okay if they got hit. I believe it was Acuna. I said, I would understand if Acuna got hit because of what happened in the previous games. And people were like, you always say you're against hit by pitches. There are some things that are still part of the game, whether you like them or not. Them responding after Tatis getting hit is still very much, and Schultz references as an old school part of the game, but I think it just is what it is. And I don't want it to be a part of the game, but it ain't going anywhere. So you kind of just have to accept it and do it the right way. And I think the Padres did. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think that there was just the reason it got out of hand is because there's like 2 or 3 in there that were like actually on accident, just at a really bad time, which happens more often than you think. But there is no, it's not hockey. You can't drop your gloves where both guys are like on even playing field. Now let's just punch each other in the face. Like, would that be a better situation that you guys just everyone says, hey, we're gonna fight right now, and then you just let the pitcher and the batter start punching each other? Like, is that what we need? Because at the end of the day, it always comes down to like there's no headers can't do anything back if they're being thrown at, and like there's only it's the way the game's put together. So I don't know what the answer is, but having some sort of recourse where you can gamesmanship where you can say, hey, like you're a little too comfy. It's just hard to figure out where those spots are in baseball. So I think that there's still going to be elements of this moving forward, but I think like what you mentioned before, the guys just not liking somebody, that's going by the wayside,
Yeah.
as it should.
A couple more things on this series. Another reason why I believe this got so testy. And again, the Dodgers have won 5 of 7 from this series so far, so they're sitting pretty. But I believe one of the reasons it got testy was you play each other 7 times in 10 days. It gets annoying, especially a team you're trying to catch, who's beaten you before. So there's that aspect of it. So I do think that we haven't seen the last of this animosity on the field because the next time they meet, Trev, is August 15th and through August 24th. So those 10 days, they play 6 times. This is going to happen again. It's insane. Whoever did this schedule, I don't know if they thought about this, but putting those 2 teams together, one for 7 games in 10 days, and then 2 months later, 6 times in 10 days seems a little excessive to me. Like this is going to boil over. There's no doubt about it, especially if Tatis is actually injured and has to miss games.
Oh, they know. They know what they're doing. They're like, oh no, this could get really testy. I wonder if people will watch more. So it's premium television, man. We live in a reality TV world. So there's gonna be setting up things that happen just to make it more interesting and get more people to watch. And this is the premium, like I said, premium rivalry. Like Red Sox Yankees, not quite back yet. But we do have on the West Coast, we got the Dodgers and the Padres to watch.
So last thing on this before I move on, because it is so fascinating to me. There's been a ton of quotes between these two teams already. Muncie saying this isn't a rivalry, it's really the Giants. And I'm from LA, and I would say that is their true rivalry. But right now, there's no doubt in my mind or anybody that watches the game that there's more animosity between the Padres and the Dodgers than there is between the Giants and the Dodgers. So where are you at with that rivalry aspect? Is there one true rivalry, or can you have multiple? Because clearly this is one.
I think you get a multiple, but I think it comes down to who the best teams are becomes a rivalry around the same time. They're always battling, especially after the division series last year. I don't know how you can't say they also both spend tons of money. It's just kind of like Preller's been trying to do the Dodgers thing. There's a lot of parallels there and a lot of superstar power, a lot of MVPs running around. So of course that's a big rivalry, but comes down to, you got to remember, you're from California. SoCal versus NorthCal is just always going to be a thing, no matter how the teams are. So I think that the long-term rivalry, it's just the same as Yankees Red Sox. They're always going to be rivals, right? Yeah. But there's going to be times where the two best teams are having a rivalry in that division because they're facing off and they're very close in talent. I think that's just what we are. But there will be a time where it kind of just settles back in and one of the teams is much better than the other one, and then it'll just be the Giants for them. But ideally, it's like this year where the Giants are pretty good too, so that we get both.
Someone on social media said the Giants are the Dodgers' rival. The Padres are their arch nemesis, and I don't know what that means. I don't know. Something's going on between these two teams, and you know what? For all us fans, because that's what we are now, Team A. Okay, this is good for the game of baseball. Hopefully, Tatis is okay. I'm glad Shohei is okay. I don't love the hit by pitches, but I love the drop. Dave Roberts acted like he wanted to smoke. He went up and kind of bumped Schilt a little bit right there. Did you see that too?
Yeah.
And our good buddy Danny Lehman is on the field too, there he is.
Yeah, there's Danny. I love it, dude. Just playing peacemaker, man. He almost went full Doug Mankiewicz on that one right there, man.
There's a lot of old twins. Nick Punto's a bench coach for the Padres. I should hit him up
awesome.
and say, what the heck is going on down there? I don't know, man. Great last 10 days for these two teams. I know the Padres fans are not happy with the results, but dang, that was an entertaining series. So I'm glad we got to cover it. Speaking of entertaining, man, let's go to the NL East. The Braves end up sweeping the Mets. They went 5-4 on Tuesday, 5-0 on Wednesday, and 7-1 last night. Strider was dominant. Chris Sale was dominant. Austin Riley walks it off with a sac fly. That's after they scored 3 in the 8th to tie it on that Tuesday game. My question to you, we've seen the Braves, they started 0-7. I bought all the stock at that point. I said, look, I don't care that no team has made the playoffs after starting 0-7. It's a very long season. The Braves can get into it. Then they ended up going on a pretty nice heater, and then they went on a 3-14 skid. But since that skid, they've won 7 of 9. Now they're still 5 games under 500. They're still 10 games back in the division. They still have some work to do in the wild card. Where are you at with the Braves? Do you think there is a chance this team could actually make the playoffs this year after 2 really, really bad stretches of baseball?
Short answer is yes, and I have some personal experience with watching them do this. They're notoriously a slow starting team. They now have Strider, who last 2 starts is looking very close to old Strider. Cunha came out hot and has stayed hot. Those were the 2 guys they were waiting for to come back. They're back and they're getting back to form. That's going to be a big part of their success. I was in 22, I was on the Mets team that watched the Braves go I think they went 71-28 in their last 99 games and caught us. And it was like, I mean, it was like watching. I could no one could stop them. We were hoping anyone could beat them. And they just do that every year. So like they're just that good. They have that good of a lineup, that good of a pitching staff when they're all good. So I would not count them out. They are going to be in the conversation, and if they miss the playoffs, in my opinion, it'll be. I'd say there's a better chance of them sneaking in a wild card than not, just because of their talent. Now, if injuries come, obviously, throw that out the window. But yeah, and I know what Mets fans are feeling right now, especially after this series and now being tied with the Phillies and just like we've seen this movie before. But don't worry, guys. You're a very good team. It's going to be okay. But yeah, Braves, don't count them out. Never count them out. They have everything you need. They have the middle lineup, the MVP out in the outfield, and the reigning Cy Young #1 pitcher. Like you got those things, you're going to be good if everyone's doing their job. So. It's scary.
You referenced 2022. I believe the Braves were 7 games back with 50 left to play. They end up winning the division there. People were referenced 21, where they were under 500 all the way up until August. Came back and won the whole damn thing. So I don't know if the division is in play. 10 games back right now. I mean, I guess I just said 7 games back with 50 games left to play, and they came back. So I guess there's a chance. I'm still thinking division's out. I'm in on them for making a run at the wild card. For all the things that you mentioned, Acuna's been great. The bottom of the lineup needs to get going a little bit more. I don't know if Nick Allen's, he's not really a hitter. He's going to defend. So that's going to be a hole in your lineup there. Michael Harris needs to get going out there in center field. But, the offense has been better lately. Acuna's obviously helped that. I think their starting pitching is in a really, really good spot. They're tied with the Yankees since the beginning of May with a 3.1 ERA to lead all of baseball. So that's in a good spot. Then, and the bullpen probably does need some help. Iglesias has been a lot better, but I think they need another like right-handed high leverage, which, Anthopoulos came out just earlier this week before this. They even swept the Mets. I think this was on Tuesday or Wednesday before the game, excuse me. And he said, we're not trading Sale. Like that's 100%. We're not doing that. He's got this year and another year of control for them. And this team is so constructed to be competitive for many years to come. So I didn't think they'd ever do that. But with this sweep, I mean, they have to think about adding. And, I think a bullpen piece, those aren't easy to find at the deadline, but there's going to be quite a few available. Now you have to go out there and make your pitch and get the guy. But I think if they do that, I know there's a lot of really, really good teams, in the National League in general right now, and they're going to have to hop over like 6 different teams to get into that, or I think it is 6 teams to hop into that final wild card spot. But I think they can do it. And speaking of the division, how about this, T May? They just swept the Mets. I mentioned they're 10 games back of the division, but to end June, they play the Marlins at this weekend, and then to end June, they play 7 games against the Phillies and Mets. Now they're bringing up, and if I mess this name up, I'm sorry, Didier Fuentes, a young kid. They're bringing him up to have a spot start tonight. He's like 20 years old. But the reason they're doing that is to push back their rotation. Of those 7 games that they'll play against the Braves and the Phillies and the Mets, Schwellenbach, Sale, and Strider will pitch 5 of those 7 games. So they're like going for it right now.
Smart.
And if they go and win, let's say they win 5 out of 7 of those games. Now the division's cut down to 7-game lead, and now we're back to where we started. So I guess it's a long way of saying, yeah, the Braves are still in it. And I'm not selling my stock that I bought when they were 0-7, T-Man.
Smart purchase of the stock. I think that was a very good move. They got everything they need, man. They just got to do it. Go win the series. Go win one series after another. It sounds like I'm rooting for the Braves, and I know that even though I'm a fan now, I'm not supposed to do that. But it's I just that rearview mirror, guys. They're gonna keep looking in that rearview mirror. Like there's no teams ahead of them that thinks like they put them in the dust. Trust me, the Phillies and the Mets are well aware of the Braves.
Oh yeah. Braves have won 7-9. Things are going their way. I'm happy for them, and you can root for whoever you want. Okay, don't let people tell you who you can and can't root for. Okay,
all right.
That's my advice to you. And now, what I want you to do is pay attention to my Like a Bosch Player of the Week. And it's time for our Like a Bosch Player of the Week, brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. Just like Bosch Power Tools, this player got the job done through hard work, grit, and determination. I am going with James Wood of the Washington Nationals. Over his last 7 games, he has 4 home runs, 11 runs driven in. He had the walk-off to end the Nationals skid on the season, a 944 OPS, and he's already racked up a 3.6 B-WAR. It's a breakout season of all breakout seasons. He looks to be an absolute stud. And if the Nationals are going to go anywhere over the next couple of years, James Wood is going to be right at the center of it. So congratulations, James Wood, our Bosch Player of the Week. And today's episode is sponsored by Bosch. When you pick up a Bosch Power Tool, it makes you feel empowered, confident, and appreciated. No matter what job lies ahead, you will crush it. As a global leader for power tools, measuring tools, and accessories, Bosch's innovative product solutions are built with quality engineering and precision in mind. The assortment of products ensures you have the right tools in your toolbox to tackle a variety of tasks with ease. Bosch's 18-volt battery platform powers numerous tools, creating a consistent energy home base that keeps the brand's family of tools running. Like your favorite players on the field, Bosch Power Tools makes sure that you are powered up and ready for anything that gets thrown your way, because the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. Head to BoschTools.com today to learn more about the power tools you need to get the job done right every time. Now, we just talked a ton about James Wood on the Nationals, and this is a question that I came up with. It's a very Chris Rose type question, but I actually think it's a good debate, and it's nice to highlight some of these young guys in the game, because I believe there are some teams that have a really nice young core, and maybe they're not winning just yet, but we're looking into our crystal ball into the future. And so I'm going to preface this like this, Team May. You're looking to get into baseball. You watch all the teams, and you say, I want to plant my flag. I want to be part of a fan base. I'm going to give you 3 teams with what I consider 3 of the best young cores in the game, and I want you to make your decision on who you're going to be rooting for going forward. We're going to start with the Nationals. We just talked about James Wood. 944 OPS, 3.6 B-WAR on the year. I'm going to lump in with him 2 other guys. CJ Abrams, 814 OPS, 2.4 B-WAR on the year. And then Dylan Cruz, who's 23 years old. Now he has a 620 OPS, a 0.3 WAR, but we know the potential is there for him. They also have Robert Hassel III and the first overall pick in the draft this year. Move on to the A's. Jacob Wilson, Lawrence Butler, Nick Kurtz, all of those guys absolutely demolished the ball. They also have Max Muncy, Tyler Soderstrom on the sideline there. And then the wild card I threw in here too was the Angels, because I people don't remember, these guys are still young. Zach Neto, I know I feel like he's been in the league for quite some time. He's only 24 years old. Zach Neto, Nolan Shanuel, and Logan O'Hoppe for the Angels. They also have Christian Moore. Maybe you throw a Joe Adell in there, because is he still a prospect? I don't think so. He's having a great month, I'll tell you that much.
He is.
So of those 3 franchises, the Nats, the A's, and the Angels, who are you most excited to watch going forward over the next couple of years? Who are you planting your flag to be a fan of?
Ooh, that's a tough one, because I'm factoring in the organization they're in and what that means, right?
Yeah.
And there's this
So are the A's out for you? Is that what
No, I'll be honest. That actually is the Angels are out for me, because I'm terrified those guys are going to get squandered or just not get what they need. The A's always tend to get these new cores come up. We might be looking at the new Chapman, Olsen, Chris Davis with a K, or whoever else you want to add in there, who's in the crew. I think that we might be seeing that in Kurtz and Lawrence Butler. And Jacob Wilson's just such an old school player that we just don't see that anymore. And it's so interesting to watch him hit and do the happy feet. And he's just a different kind of guy. So actually I'm going to lean towards the A's crew and slightly edging out the Nationals crew, just because I think it's maybe a little bit more interesting. But man, I think of everyone in that group you just mentioned, I think Wood is the potential to be the most productive hitter. He is impressive. The things that guy does he hits the ball harder than anyone I've ever seen. It's incredible. I don't understand.
He really does.
I love watching him
everywhere. Yeah, he's got power to all fields.
I think he's special. I think he's special in a different way than maybe everyone else on that list. And So but I will say the A's just because also I play with Butler too, and he's a dude. So I will say slightly take the A's in that situation. I'm excited to see what they do.
This is tough because I did not want you to say the A's because I wanted to answer the A's as well.
Oh,
I
so you were trying to set me up. I got you.
well, we like to have differing opinions. Sometimes we're going to agree. I think the Angels are out of this discussion for me. I really
Mhm.
like Zach Neto at shortstop. I think he could be like an all-star shortstop, premier player in the league. I really do. I don't know much about Christian Moore, and Joe Adell's wildly inconsistent. He's got streaks where he looks like he's the best player in all of baseball, and times where it looks like he's not. And we all know how that goes. So I'm taking them out. Ohapi's struggling to start this year. He's got a great offensive profile as a catcher. I think the Angels are out for me. You're right about James Wood. I've been a CJ Abrams fan for a long time. People hated on me because I said I didn't think his defense was that bad. Maybe it was. I don't know. But you can improve that. I think he is can be a really good ball player on both sides of the ball. He's got an 814 OPS, like I referenced earlier in the question. The number one overall draft pick is sort of intriguing to me, but he's not going to be part of that crew for a while. I don't think. Is it going to be Ethan Holiday? Is it going to be somebody else? I don't know what they're going to do with that pick. I think I'm not going to let you knock me off my game. I'm going the A's. Now, if they had any semblance of a pitching staff whatsoever, we'd be talking about a completely different team because this team can absolutely smack the ball. I called the
Yeah.
games against the Twins in Sacramento and just watched them give up a ton of runs, but fight back. Jacob Wilson is a ton of fun to watch. I think Nick Kurtz is the wild card here. If he turns into who they think he can turn into, then I don't think this is even a question because Lawrence Butler is going to give you probably an 800 OPS throughout his career with some power. Jacob Wilson is going to be a premier hitter and just a ton of fun to watch. So if Nick Kurtz is plate discipline king with homer power and turns into one of those type of players, which we've kind of seen him do over the last couple weeks, 2 walk-off homers over the last week. He's been very impressive. I'm going to go with the A's. I try to convince myself otherwise. I also believe Max Muncy of the A's variety, it can turn into a very, very good ball player. So now you're seeing, I mean, they could potentially have like their entire roster offensively can be 27 and under with a bunch of dudes here, so they can all grow together. We didn't even mention Denzel Clark and the things he does out there in the outfield. So, or Tyler Soderstrom and the way he's come on offensively this year. I think it's the A's, and now that I'm reading more into it, I don't think it's even a question. I think they're the best young core in baseball right now, and just please put some pitching around them or do something. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but you got to surround these guys with talent because they have a chance to be really, really special.
Yeah, I don't know how that is going to work. They've just benefited from the Coliseum for so long. The guys could come up and have a little bit of success right away and kind of grind out and then end with like a 3. But now it's the opposite there in
It is the
Sacramento.
opposite of that place. That ball is
So
flying.
it is not. They're not having a lot of fun pitching there. So, but yeah, but like you said, there's not a ton in the pipeline either. Like that just doesn't seem like it's been their focus. But they got the guys that can swing it, and and then it's so funny that like Brent Rooker, in terms of time, he's still a young in service time, but he's like the vet on
He's
this team by
old
like a
there.
lot. He's old. He's an old man. And he rakes, and he's still raking again. It's 3 years in a row he's raked. So he's one of their best hitters, and he just kind of gets. He's just like, I'm here. I'm still here. By the way, I might hit 40.
Red
Just
Sox
saying.
fans are punching the computer screen right now saying, "What about us? What about our young players?" That's actually now that I'm thinking about it, we got Wilyer Abreu, Marcelo Meyer, we have Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell just got sent down. They have to be in this discussion as well. And now
Yeah.
my head is spinning. Shit.
Yeah, check in with us in September. We'll tell you how that's going. Let's let a
I'm
couple of those
going
guys
the
do
A's.
anything. Yeah, we'll go with the A's. And it's funny, we didn't even mention we didn't lump Mackenzie Gore into the other side.
Well, no, we
who's
don't
an
talk
ace
about
in the
pitchers
league.
very often on this show. Okay.
Yeah. So that might change it, but I will say just a little caveat for Washington. That Soto trade, very nice. Good job.
It's
The guys you got back, I wow, like the talent they got back is pretty crazy thinking about it. So they just need to figure it out. Also pitching. They need to figure out their pitching as well because they should be better than they are right now. But
I guess
neither here nor there.
that's just celebrating how much good young talent there is in the big leagues right now.
I love
I think
that. I
that's
love
what
that.
we're doing. Let's talk about one series that I know the collective baseball world will have their eyes on. The Boston Red Sox, after an off day, will face the San Francisco Giants tonight. Why is that so important, Team A? Why is it? Oh, yeah, it's because Rafael Devers will be facing his old team. The Giants are 5-5 in their last 10. They lost 2 or 3 to Cleveland. The Red Sox are hot, dude. 8-2 in their last 10, and they won 2 of 3 from Seattle to start this West Coast swing. I guess you weren't here. We talked a ton about Devers in the trade and, how he's acting, and he's going to be different. He's going to be more, coachable in San Francisco. Obviously, it seems like. What do you got for this series? Do you think Devers goes off? And then my main question to you is, do you think he plays first base at all, just to throw it in Alex Cora and Craig Breslow's face?
I bet you he would be open to that possibility. And it's also a spot they need somebody. It's so funny personnel wise. It's like this. It's the same thing. You're gonna have Matt Chapman at third, another Gold Glover. So you're not playing third. And then they got Will Flores, who's like their best hitter, and he is the DH. So it's like, first you're gonna have to place him first a little bit, and I think he knows that. I think this is just a grass is greener, clean slate situation. He's just like, I just don't have all the baggage. They just annoyed me, so I wanted to say no all the time. Is that annoying for everybody to listen to? Absolutely, but that there is a lot of that happens. So for if they're like, hey, can you play first for us? I don't think he'll hesitate. I think he'll say yes.
I would love to see that happen. If you're so like a lot of the interviews for the Red Sox players after the Devers trade, there wasn't like anybody being like, dang, I can't believe it happened. It was just like, yeah, we got to move on and go forward. I don't know if that was an Alex Cora, like, hey, this is how we're going to address this thing. Like, just we're moving forward. These are the guys in the room. That's the best way to handle this. Do you think there's going to be like a bunch of daps and hugs on the field, or is this kind of like, yeah, he's gone now type situation? We've both been on the both sides of that.
That's an interesting one. I mean, there'll be the meeting out behind second base, I'm sure. In the middle of warm-ups or whatever. But it be like guys are coming out, or he's hanging out behind the turtle and they're hitting VP or something? Nope. That's not gonna happen. That would surprise me a lot. I think it'll be cordial, but especially with the players, but he might not, who knows? Who knows who he really had problems with? In terms of like coaching staff or front office or whatever. I can anticipate maybe that's a little bit raw, but I can see him saying what's up to, especially the guys that he was the best friends with. So, but they'll be a little tense, especially if you're standing over there at first in front of their dugout like the whole time. It'll be interesting to see if there's people chirping like everyone used to do at Miggy all the time. Like, maybe is that going to happen, or are they going to kind of just leave it alone because it's not really the time. It's gonna be interesting to see. I'm that's one storyline I'll be paying attention to.
Yeah, I don't know why I like it so much. Like, I don't know what that says about me and my personality, but I want to see like all these interactions. Like, is he gonna walk up to the plate and give Cora a little helmet tip? Like, is he gonna do that? Like, what's he gonna do to the catcher? Like, what's he gonna do to Narvaez? Is he gonna tap him on the shin guards? Like, I just want to see all these little interactions. And again, like, I don't know, maybe I am into like the reality TV aspect of the league that we got going on right now, but it's going to be interesting. Over under 0.5 home runs for Devers in the series.
I got a splash.
You got a splash?
Yeah. He's gonna absolutely destroy one. I don't know who it's gonna be off of. Yeah, but I could just see it. I could just see him just standing there.
That's what I think. It's gonna take a long time to get around the bases.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man. All right, before we get into our last question, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this. Let me tell you a little bit about Huel. And today's episode is brought to you by Huel. No time to cook, no problem. Our friends at Huel, today's sponsor, have you covered. And it's spelled Huel. Their Black Edition ready to drink is a total game changer. For me, my mornings are chaos. I'm out the door in minutes. I don't have time to whip up a balanced meal. That's where Huel Black Edition comes in. It's my go-to. Keeps me full, energized, and focused so I can tackle whatever the day throws at me. It's true. Sometimes you don't have time to whip up scrambled eggs or whatever. You need to get out here, record, get the content to you guys, sip on a Huel, and I feel good while I'm doing it. It's a complete meal in one bottle with 35 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, high fiber, and my personal favorite, low sugar. So you feel full, focused, and ready for your day. No prep, no cleanup, just grab and go. Start saving time and money without compromising your nutrition today with this exclusive offer for new customers of 15% using our exclusive code today. That's 15% for new customers using our exclusive code today at huel.com. Please see our description for terms and conditions. Skip the stress, not the nutrition. Try Huel today for complete nutrition bottled. All right, now let's get to some bullpen drama, which I know that you are very familiar with, having spent a lot of your time in the Major League bullpen. Dennis Santana of the Pittsburgh Pirates had a little altercation, I guess that's what we're going to call it, with some fans out there in Detroit, even hopping up and trying to get a little swing right here. Is that a smack, like a Tommy Pham smack? And maybe that's where he got it from, if we're being honest right now. The Detroit fans were obviously heckling him after the game. Santana said they just went too far. He'll leave it at that. So we don't exactly know what was said. I don't like this video, like of the guys like laughing and doing all that. I understand fans have some rights, and there are some things you can say. I don't think Santana was right in taking a swipe here, but I'm sure there's a ton of stuff that we don't know that went down. So there's context to it. My question to you is, where is the worst place to warm up in a Major League Baseball stadium? Like, what stadium is the worst to warm up in?
I think it's probably not that close, and it's a place you played for a bit. Philadelphia is pretty. It's built that way on purpose. You are like people can lean over the railing the entire circumference. So if you were ever wondering what's on your Wikipedia page, it's being screamed at you. So it's to the point where people just read it. I'm like, I don't even know what your point is at this point. Like, you're just saying random things. But yeah, Philly, it used to be the home side. They switched it because very clearly, if you're not playing well, you're getting heckled by your own fans. They're a little bit more than most places. So yeah, it's tough. There's nowhere to hide. You can sit under the overhang a little bit, but it's not the best one. And their fans will let you know. The fans will let you know.
Does that happen in almost every ballpark though? Like that you get heckled while you're warming up?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're like, I'm thinking about like Atlanta is like they're on top of you too, but like that's mostly just kids like wanting the ball. Like most people,
Yeah.
there's different kind of, I feel like, mentalities in certain places. And in Philly, like going and yelling at the other team is kind of like what you have to do if you go to the game. Like if you have the opportunity, you do it. And that's just the way they are. And like the Mets, if they had it like that too, it'd be the same way. It's just you can't really get close. You have to sit in the sections or you can't get down there. So it's just set up perfectly for that. It's like a concourse because people are just walking by the whole time. Like, oh, what's in there? Oh, it's a bunch of people we can yell at. But yeah, there's a measure of it, but you combine the type of fan plus the access and it can be a lot. You better be dialed in.
For hitters, I think it's probably Fenway is the toughest place because it's such a long walk back to the dugout. I don't know if it is the longest walk back. Maybe Oakland, the old Coliseum had that. But when you walk back, Boston in general, they're also pretty chippy fans, so they're going to let you hear it. How is that bullpen? Because that's right in the right field bleachers as well, right? With like a short wall, so they're all over you there too, right?
They're all over you there a little bit. And I'll say there's really nowhere to hide there. Like it's most guys are just standing out in the open, trying to find something to do because there's nowhere to sit. But it's funny. I never had I never saw anything crazy heckling, at least in the bullpen there. But I was like, I was on the Twins. Like, we're not rivals with you.
Okay.
But I was never a Yankee going in there. I'm sure that it's worse. And I've also heard, like you said, that space between like behind home plate to the dugout is where those people get insane on both sides. I think we've seen a lot of people yelling, but the Red Sox players have said that is like the area that they get the loudest heckling from. It's the most diehards. But I could see how Boston, dude, they're in there with you. Like you're pretty much sitting in stands with people. And if they're riled up enough, I could see how it could get out of hand quick. And Yankee Stadium's the same way. You got the bleacher creatures on both sides, right and left field. Chicken tendies coming raining on you when they hit home runs. Like they'll just throw their beers in the bullpen. If like
really?
they're on a rally, they hit a home run, they're like, oh, throw the beer, and they they act like if they're throwing it up and they're actually just throwing it on you. So it can get tough there, but they have an air conditioned little box you can go hide in. So
Okay. You got a little salvation there. Shout
Yeah,
out.
a
I
little
think
bit.
the other one I want to shout out is the South Side, Chicago White Sox. They can get a little testy there as well. So a lot of, that's just fun, good baseball. As long as you're not going over the top. Players don't go into the stands. Fans, understand there's like a limit. There's got to be some sort of a stop button in your, where you're going with your shit talking. So
Yeah.
I love that,
Stick to
man.
baseball, please.
I could go
Stick
on
to
and on
baseball.
and on talking to you about bullpens and where the best are and all that good stuff, but that's going to do it for our show today. T-May, I appreciate you coming on, man. You've got a wealth of baseball knowledge, and our audience loves when you share it. Hopefully, you'll be back again. Maybe we'll get you on for another ep as Chris Rose is, again, I don't even know where he's at. Is he in Monaco gambling? I don't know. He just left the freaking show. Love you, see Rosie, but it's fun having all of you guys fill in for him as well. So, for our super producer, Dan Rourke, our intern, Sawyer, that is my man, Trevor May, and I am Trevor Plouffe. We will see you on Monday on Baseball Today.